There's a moment in every sport where the whole world shifts. Not gradually, not politely. It just breaks open, and suddenly everything that came before feels like a rehearsal. Women's tennis is standing right at the edge of one of those moments, and I don't think most people have fully realized it yet. Because while the rest of the tennis world was still processing what just happened in Miami, while the analysts were still scrambling to update their rankings and revise their narratives, a 20-year-old from the Philippines was already packing her bags for Austria. Already moving forward. Already hunting. Her name is Alexandra Eala, but everyone who actually watches her play just calls her Alex. And what she is about to do on the clay courts of Linz could permanently change the way we talk about the next generation of this sport. Let's set the scene properly, because context matters here. Every single year, without fail, when the tour makes that brutal shift from the hard courts of North America to the red clay of Europe, the media runs the same tired story. The clay humbles the young guns. The clay exposes the aggressive baseliners. The clay rewards the patient, the crafty, the experienced grinders who've spent their whole lives dragging opponents into those long, ugly rallies until something breaks. And look, historically, there's some truth in that. Clay is unforgiving. It punishes mistakes differently. It rewards a different kind of intelligence. But what that narrative completely ignores is the rare player who doesn't just survive the surface. The rare player who was actually built for it. Alex is that player. And this week in Linz, against Austrian hometown veteran Julia Grabher, she's about to prove it in front of a crowd that desperately wants to see her fail. The tournament itself is worth pausing on for a second, because what the organizers have done for this 35th anniversary edition of the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open is genuinely insane. They tore out the hard courts. Completely. Brought in 100 tons of crushed red clay, built a temporary 30,000-seat arena right in the middle of the city's design center, and transformed what was traditionally an indoor hardcourt event into a full clay court spectacle. That is an extraordinary decision. And it is a decision that, whether they intended it or not, plays directly into Alex's hands. Because if you're going to build a clay court stage in the middle of Linz and then seed her 6th in a 28-player draw, you've essentially handed her a platform tailor-made for her game. Before we get to the matchup itself, you have to understand how Alex got here, because the last few weeks have been remarkable. Miami is not a soft draw. Miami is one of those tournaments where you can walk into the first round against a player ranked 80th in the world, and she still plays like she has nothing to lose, because she doesn't. It's chaotic and relentless and physically brutal. And Alex didn't just survive it. She pushed all the way to the round of 16, beat established ranked players along the way, and broke into the top 50 in the world rankings for the first time in her career. Think about that for a moment. 20 years old. Top 50. Coming off a Miami run that turned heads across the entire sport. She came into this clay swing with real momentum, real confidence, and the kind of loose, aggressive energy that makes her genuinely dangerous. But here's what makes her truly terrifying on this particular surface. Hard courts were never even her strongest environment. Alex has spent years training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. Not weeks. Years. Since she was a teenager, she has been absorbing the philosophy, the biomechanics, the relentless physical and mental demands of elite clay court tennis from the people who understand it better than anyone alive. That experience doesn't just shape your technique. It shapes how you think on the court. It changes your instincts. The way you construct a point on clay is completely different from how you construct one on hard courts. The geometry is different. The timing is different. The patience required is different. And Alex has been learning that language since before most players her age were even thinking about it seriously. Her forehand is the weapon everyone talks about, and for good reason. Left-handed, heavy topspin, absolutely loaded with RPMs. On a hard court, that ball comes through fast and flat enough that opponents can redirect it with decent timing. On clay, that same ball kicks violently off the surface and jumps into a completely different strike zone. Players who think they've read it, who've positioned themselves correctly, suddenly find themselves reaching up around their shoulders trying to handle pace they weren't expecting. That's not just a physical problem. That's a psychological one. Because once it happens 2 or 3 times in a row, it gets in your head. You start doubting your read on the ball. You start hesitating. And hesitation on a clay court is death. Now let's talk about Julia Grabher, because I genuinely don't want to reduce her to a storyline obstacle, because she's not that. She's a 29-year-old professional who has been competing on this tour for years, who climbed to a career-high ranking of 54 in the world back in 2023, and who knows exactly how to compete on clay. She's the kind of player who makes you work for every single point, who never gives you a free game, who will absorb your best shot and push it right back deep into the corner and wait for you to make an error. That style of play has beaten better players than Alex before. And she's playing at home. That part cannot be understated. The crowd in Linz is not going to be neutral. They're going to be loud and partisan and completely invested in seeing their local player pull off the upset. Every ball Grabher hits well will get treated like match point at Wimbledon. Every error Alex makes will be met with the kind of applause that's designed to unsettle you, to make the moment feel bigger than it is, to make the visiting player feel like the whole room is against her. For young players, that environment can be genuinely destabilizing. It creates this creeping internal pressure where you start pressing on shots you'd normally play freely, start going for too much when patience would serve you better, start feeling like you have to win the crowd over rather than just winning the match. That mental trap has ended countless promising runs. Grabher knows this. Her entire game plan will be built around keeping Alex in long rallies, throwing up those high, looping defensive balls that push her back behind the baseline, and trusting that eventually the noise and the pressure and the sheer grind of it will produce errors. It's a smart plan. It's what she should do. The problem, and it's a significant one for Grabher, is that this version of Alex coming into Linz might be the worst possible opponent for that strategy. Here's the tactical reality. Grabher's defensive style works best when she can make you play an extra ball, absorb your pace, redirect, and wait. But when Alex is generating the kind of heavy topspin she's capable of on clay, Grabher isn't just absorbing pace. She's being pushed back, physically moved behind the baseline, forced into a position where she can't dictate anything, can't redirect aggressively, can only try to push the ball back and survive the next shot. And when you're 3 meters behind the baseline on clay just trying to stay in the rally, you're waiting for a short ball that may never come. Because Alex isn't going to give it to you easily. She's too well trained for that. She understands clay court geometry. She knows how to construct a point, how to build pressure across 5 or 6 shots, how to open up the court and then close it with something flat and low and completely unreachable. The moment Grabher's defensive wall does crack, the moment she drops one ball short inside the service line, Alex is already moving forward, already reading it, already lining up the winner. That's not luck. That's the Nadal Academy. That's years of training exactly this scenario. I do think the crowd will be a factor early. It almost always is in these situations. Alex will feel it in the first few games, feel that collective Austrian energy pushing for Grabher on every point. And there might be a moment or two where she feels the weight of it. But here's what I keep coming back to when I think about this match. Alex just played in Miami. She just handled one of the biggest, most intense atmospheres in all of women's tennis, against high-ranked opponents, with real stakes on the line. And she didn't just handle it. She thrived. She's not the same player who might have crumbled under that kind of crowd pressure a year ago. She's different now. The top 50 ranking isn't just a number. It's evidence of a mental shift. She believes she belongs at this level. And once you genuinely believe that, a crowd of hostile Austrians stops being a threat and starts being just noise. What I expect to happen in this match is a tight opening few games while both players find their footing, while Alex adjusts to the crowd and Grabher tries to set the physical terms of the rallies early. And then somewhere around game 5 or 6 of the first set, the match turns. Alex starts finding her range with the forehand. The ball starts jumping higher off the clay. Grabher starts having to work harder and harder just to stay in the point. The crowd gets a little quieter. Not silent yet, but quieter. That shift in crowd noise is the tell. Once the energy starts dropping, once the Linz fans sense that their player is in trouble, the psychological advantage flips. And Alex, trained to play in the moment, trained to compete without fear, starts swinging even more freely. The second set, if Grabher somehow forces one, will be a formality. I believe that completely, because the tactical problem doesn't go away. If anything, it gets worse as fatigue sets in, as Grabher's legs start feeling those 3 and 4 meter sprints behind the baseline, as the reality of the scoreboard starts creating its own pressure. This is where Alex's fitness, built through years of grueling training in the Spanish heat, becomes another weapon entirely. And then there's the second round, because that's what makes this week genuinely fascinating beyond just this first match. If Alex gets through Grabher, and I fully believe she does, she walks straight into a match against Jelena Ostapenko, former French Open champion, one of the most explosive, unpredictable, flat-hitting players on the entire tour. The kind of opponent who has absolutely no interest in grinding, who will just rip winners from anywhere on the court and dare you to keep up. That matchup on clay would be spectacular. 2 aggressive baseliners, completely different styles, both capable of taking over a match in 5 minutes. But Alex can only get there by handling the business in front of her first. And the way she handles Grabher will tell us a lot about where her head is at heading into the European swing. A convincing, dominant, clinical win here sends a message that travels far beyond Linz. It tells the entire WTA locker room that the hard court success wasn't a fluke, that the clay is actually her home, that a top 50 ranking might already be underselling where she's headed. The European clay season is long. There are a lot of tournaments, a lot of opportunities, a lot of points available for a player bold enough to claim them. Alex has the game for this surface. She has the training for it. She has the momentum coming in. And she has something that you genuinely cannot manufacture or teach, which is the absolute, unshakable belief that she belongs here, that she's good enough to beat anyone in this draw, that this is her moment. Julia Grabher is a fighter. She'll compete hard. She'll make Alex earn every game. The crowd will be loud and passionate and fully behind their local hero. But I think when this match is over, when the dust settles on that temporary clay court in the middle of Linz, we're going to be talking about the moment Alex announced herself to European audiences in the most direct and undeniable way possible. Straight sets. Clinical. Confident. Completely in control from the baseline. And then she moves on to Ostapenko, and the real conversation begins. The European clay season has opened. Alex is here. And she is not here to survive it. She is here to own it.